Christianity, where it's described as the moment when all people will be judged for their actions throughout life. According to this belief, this judgment will take place after the end of the world, when the dead will be resurrected to face their final evaluation before God. This event is often associated with the idea of divine justice, where each individual will be confronted with their choices and responsibilities. In the Christian view, the white throne judgment is mentioned in the book of Revelation, one of the last books of the Bible. In it, it's described as a solemn event where God, represented by the white throne, will judge the living and the dead. The scriptures describe that the books will be opened, and people will be judged according to their deeds, revealing the sacred nature and divine justice of this moment. This judgment is perceived as a final discernment between good and evil, where each individual will have to give an account of their actions. For many believers, it's a reminder of the importance of living a just and compassionate life, as the consequences of their actions will be examined in the white throne judgment. It's seen as hope for the righteous and a warning for the unjust, representing the promise of heavenly reward for those who have followed the path of righteousness. Apocalypse 20:11 says, "Then I saw a great white throne and him who was seated on it. The earth and the heavens fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. When Jesus returns, he will defeat the devil and all enemies of God. After that, there will be a great judgment before God. All the dead will stand before God and be judged according to their deeds. Whoever does not have their name written in the book of life will be cast into the lake of fire, but the saved will dwell with God for all eternity." This event is known as the final judgment. The white throne represents the authority and purity of God. He is the creator of the world, reigning over all things. God has all authority to judge the world because the world belongs to him and he created the rules. The color white symbolizes the purity of God. In him, there is no sin whatsoever. The filthiness of sin does not tarnish God's throne. We know that God is perfect and pure, so we can be assured of a fair and impartial judgment. There is no way to bribe God or distort his decisions. In the judgment of the great white throne, justice will be served. The judgment will begin with the presentation of all people who have ever existed before God. All the dead will be gathered. Then, the deeds of each person will be judged because God keeps records of everything we do. Also, a special book called the Book of Life will be opened. The dead, great and small, refers to all people who have lived throughout history and, regardless of their social position, died without knowing and accepting Jesus Christ's sacrifice for their sins. Whether on land, at sea, in graves or crypts, the remains of these dead will be restored and reunited with their souls and spirits. After death, the soul continues to exist. In the resurrection, it receives a body suitable for eternal existence. Before the resurrection, the believer's soul is in the presence of God, awaiting their eternal reward. The soul of the wicked remains in Hades, where the wicked dead go, awaiting the final judgment. In the judgment before the great white throne, the wicked from all ages will be resurrected. All those who do not have their names in the book of life, all who are not saved, will go to the lake of fire, along with the devil, Revelation 20 verse 14. But all who have their names in the book will have a new life, an eternity of joy in the presence of God. Jesus came to deliver us from condemnation. For those who believe in Jesus, the judgment of the white throne is a reason for hope, not fear, Romans 8 verse 1. When that day comes, we will finally be able to live forever with Jesus. But for this, we need to make the decision to follow Jesus, confessing our sins